Hey guys, Ramsey here. Wanted to come and do a wrap up on what happened in March and then go ahead and tell you what I plan on reading in April. My March TBR was ridiculous, and if you saw my videos this month, you kind of saw that I amended it a little bit and wanted to go ahead and tell you what I was able to get to. As you can see through my TBR, I haven't finished the blade itself. I'm not that far in it. I really enjoy it. And then Warrior of Altai, I'm about 10 chapters in, and I'm not enjoying it. And then I'm really excited to get to Leaping Wolf. So it'll be my first one for the month next month. So these, hopefully, I've got a couple days left. Currently, I'm filming this on the night of the 30th. So hopefully, a day and a half, maybe I can finish the blade itself, devote some time to the Warrior of Altai, and then next I'll just run in and Leaping Wolf will be my number one. But I'll put it on the TBR. I will count these as read for March, but they're not finished yet. So what I'm going to do is, they're not going to be on the next TBR, but Leaping Wolf will be. It'll be my one carryover because of the amendment that I did. I knocked off Stormfront, Way of Kings, and The Fires of Heaven. So one that I did get to was the Princess of Mars. There's a bunch of guys doing the Marsathon, and I wanted to join them. It was like Scott from Book Invasion, Steve Donahue, and what's the other guy's name? When I heard about Marsathon, I followed two guys that I hadn't been following, and then Pints and Paperbacks as well. I think Richardson Reeds is one of the guys, and the other guy, I've watched a few of his videos, and he's pretty funny. So, but I finished Princess of Mars, but I know Scott, I just watched one of Scott's videos, and he said he hasn't even started reading it yet. So I don't know if they're going to get to Gods of Mars. I have it on my list if they get to it. Don't know if they're going to get to it. If they postpone the read-a-thon, read-along, whatever we're calling it, I will wait on Gods of Mars. So it's tentatively on my list for next month. So one that I did get around to, and I did read, was The Pillars of the Earth. It was very, very good. I did a review on it. I kind of spoke in that review about creating something and how I understood the joy of creating. And a lot of people also connected with that in the review. I'll link it up above. And it was something that connected with me, and it was really cool to see other people connecting with just the idea of creating something, making something new that others will enjoy. I had a couple comments on that. It was really great, and I really enjoyed doing the review and talking about that. So this was a great book. Also, I got around to reading Semolina Sands, which I've been trying to get to for a while, but my library didn't have it, so they did the book swap, and I was able to get that right under the wire and get it before the quarantine started. Semolina Sands was amazing. I actually tweeted the author, and Josiah Bancroft, and I said, this is just such an amazing book, and I'm so thankful that you wrote it. It's one of my favorite books of the year. And we've started talking on Twitter a little bit. He seems like a really great guy, and really excited to get to know him better. I did a review if you want to watch it. That review, I just gushed about how much I love the book. It's definitely one of my favorite 2 books of the year, and I'm really excited for other people to read it because not a lot of people talk about it. There's me, Scott from Book Invasion, and Dragon Army Books has recently read it as well, and he raves about it as well. Great book. If you haven't had a chance to check it out, Semolina Sands. There's 3 books currently out. There's a 4th one in the works. Should be out pretty soon. Please check it out. It's so good. So Nikki from I Read Past My Bedtime is doing a Dresden read-along, and I've read book 1, 2, and 3. So went ahead and skimmed it so that I was kind of just caught up on some details. Hopefully we discuss that very soon. But I didn't officially read it, so I'm not counting it as officially read. I had it on my TBR, and then I removed it. So we're going to say not read this month, but skimmed. Hopefully we do a discussion on it very, very soon. The Fires of Heaven, I moved back. Something that really is odd to me is that I see a lot of people that do Wheel of Time content. It does really, really well. And then for some reason, I have not had any luck with it. Like when I talk about Wheel of Time, it's my favorite series. I'm really excited about it. And then it doesn't gain a lot of traction on my channel, and I don't understand why. And it may be me. Like I watched my first Eye of the World review when I've read it many times. I just re-listened to it like for the first time. I'm buying them on Audible, and I don't know if it's me. Maybe I just need to come at it from a different angle. So I'm gonna put those on hold for just a minute. Try to get really better at being a booktuber and do my favorite series some justice, because I just don't feel like I'm giving it the quality that people want. Maybe that's the problem. Um, and so I just want people to understand how much I love Eye of the World and to share that with others. And they've really been like the worst performing videos on my channel. Not a lot of people watch them, and I get almost no comments on them. So I may just scrap them for a while and then go back when I'm a better booktuber and try to do them to the best of my ability. So all I was waiting for to restart my Way of Kings reread is I was waiting for Libby to get the book. And so it came in about 3 days ago, and I'm 4 hours into it already. So by the end of next month, I will have the Way of Kings reread, and then we'll go ahead and do the review on that one, because I've seen Michael do the review on it. I've seen the Nerdy Narrative get into it lately, and I just want to chat with all my friends about my favorite book. So, listening to it for the first time I've never listened to it before. I've only read it, and I'm really excited to reread it. I actually got my copy signed by Brandon Sanderson. He was at DragonCon, and so even though it's this huge giant mass market paperback that everybody's like, oh, why are you reading it? Well, Sanderson signed it, so I'm keeping this one forever. So I'm getting really, really close on Narnia. All I have left is The Last Battle. I read Silver Chair and I read The Magician's Nephew this month. Both very quick reads. I'm really excited. Been picking them up at Goodwill just as I get the opportunity in the little paperbacks so I can share them with the kids. Thought about getting them in hardback. I looked at Half Price Books and it's about $50. I said, nah, I'm not ready for that commitment yet. Maybe if I find a very beautiful copy, but they didn't have anything that really stood out. So I'm going to wait and just do the paperbacks for now and share those with the kiddos. So reading this month has been tough for me. With the coronavirus and the kids are home and I'm helping with school, we both morphed into homeschool parents. I've had a hard time reading. That's why my TBR is just in the trash can. Maybe I've gotten to half of the books that I intended to get to. Also, I didn't get as many audiobooks as I wanted this time, so I had to read a lot more physically, and that's more time demanding. I drive back and forth an hour every day, and I have so much time to listen to audiobooks, so when I can substitute audiobooks in my reading, I can get so much more reading done through the month. Physical books, if I just read, I may get 5 done. And I think I listened to 1 audiobook, and that was Princess of Mars. It was short. So it was tough for me to really get a good grasp on this TBR this month, especially with the kids being home and everything going on, coronavirus, keep your personal space, don't touch anything, wash your hands more than you normally do, all that stuff. So jumped into some comics. I did Trigun Maximum. It was really, really good. Read it the first of the month. Went ahead and rechecked it out at the library just so I could hold it up to do the review. I'm going to do an Animation Station review, probably come out for somewhere early in April. And then read the second Ultraman comic. I read the first one, didn't give it glowing reviews, but I was hoping it got better. Yeah, it's getting better. So I like the second one a whole lot better than I like the first one. And then I also reread Fables. Fables was great. I forgot how much I enjoyed this story. Basically, all the legendary characters like Snow White, the Big Bad Wolf, they've all come to New York and they're pretending to be human. I mean, some of them already are human, but it's really, really cool. They live like in a subculture of New York called Fabletown, and they run their own government and all kinds of stuff like that. It's really, really cool. They were chased out of their fairy tale lands by the adversary. So expect a Animation Station episode coming soon, episode 2. That was really all I got to this month. I've read a little bit on the Golden Compass. I could probably finish that if I worked on it tomorrow. So you know what, let's do that. I'm going to read the rest of the Golden Compass tomorrow just to get it off my list. Finally get it knocked out and have it done. So it'll be Princess of Mars, Pillars of the Earth, Semolina Sands, Silver Chair, Magician's Nephew, Golden Compass, Fables, Ultraman, Trigun, and I don't think I'll finish it, but the Blade itself, maybe. So, I mean, still, I would have gotten to 10 books, adding the comics. So, 7 actual books. So, it's not a bad month, but it just didn't feel great. I don't know why. But Felt like I'd made a big plan and I didn't do so well with the plan. So I'm going to shrink it this month. So to start off my TBR, I really want to do Autism Awareness Month. I don't know if I've told you guys before, but my son has high functioning autism. He would be, years ago, they'd call it Asperger's, but now everything's on the spectrum because they don't want kids that were just kind of on the spectrum to not get the help they needed. So they put everybody under the banner of autism spectrum disorder. So he has autism spectrum disorder. He's high functioning. He handles everything really well. Um, but I wanted to read something for him and to help our relationship together. So I'm going to read this off the page. Positive Parenting for Autism: Powerful Strategies to Help Your Child Overcome Challenges and Thrive, by Victoria Boone. Huge title. Everybody seems to like it. It gets great reviews, and hopefully, as a parent of a child with autism, it will give me some information that I can use to help him because I love the boy so much. I don't know if you saw my Twitter. He is almost 10 years old, and he is riding a bike without training wheels, and that's a huge moment for him. It was so awesome. He then immediately crashed and burned and got road rash on his face. But he rode his bike for like 30 minutes without training wheels. He did amazing. We're so proud of him. And so for him, for Autism Awareness Month, wanted to really highlight him and help his life be better through us parenting him in a better way. So starting, we'll do just the God of Mars, not this whole big giant thing. This is 5 novels in here, but just the God of Mars, so it's going to be a smaller portion. And then Leaping Wolf, as soon as I get done with The Blade Itself and War of Altai, that's the first book I'm hopping into. Way of Kings, I'm listening to on audiobook. I said, 4 hours in. Then we're going to do, I bought all those Warhammer books, so I Googled, where do I start? Well, Warlord, Fury of the God Machine by David Annandale is the start of a group of stories. I don't have the Horus Heresy, where everybody says pretty much that's where you need to start, and I need to find that to start that, but I really just want to get into this. I own about 8 or 9 books. I'll put a picture up of my little space in my bookshelf of ones I found at Goodwill, and it was a ton of Warhammer books. So I was like, I want to start this. And if you guys have any recommendations on where to start, if I'm just a fool to start with Warlord, Fury of the God Machine, let me know. I can amend it, maybe do something different. But I don't know Warhammer. It sounds cool, and I'd love to get into it. So this is my start. This is my start in it. So we'll see. Next, I got this on Audible, Metro 2033. I played the video game and I loved it. And so I got really, really curious. I was like, oh man, this is based on a book. It clearly says based on the novel by Dmitry Glukovsky. And I was like, definitely want to check this out. Every review I read said, if you expect this to be like the video game, it is not. I was like, all right, I'm still reading it. So we'll see. I'm probably, when I do the review on this one, I'll do some video game footage from Metro. So we'll see. That'll be another video with video game footage in it. So we'll see. There's a lot of cussing in it though, so I may have to really edit that. And so wanted to do a couple audiobooks that I've gotten from Libby already. Dark Matter by Blake Crouch. Haven't started it yet. And I've heard everyone tells me it's fantastic. It's kind of like a sci-fi thriller mystery sort of mashup. Excited for that. And then I've started Furiously Happy. Really, I picked it up because there's a super happy raccoon on the cover. I didn't know what I was getting into, but I'm not hating it. And sometimes the author who's narrating her own book is very funny. Sometimes it's over the top and you go, maybe don't need to do a million jokes a minute, but she talks about her mental health state. She struggles with, depression and some other things like that. So in this time, it just feels like a good read for me. I'm struggling a little bit being depressed with just, I'm out working on elevators. There's not a lot of people around. I'm not interacting. Like, even though I'm not isolated, I'm out doing things. I'm not talking to people. Like, I'm eating lunch in my truck every day. I kind of mentioned today on Twitter that I don't feel good. Like, I just want to go home and be around people. Like, that's where my people are. And so just being out in public right now is not good for me. Like, I'm not enjoying it. Um, and I know I can't personally self isolate because I work on elevators. I need to keep the world moving, right? Um, so it's a good read for me. I've always struggled with depression a little bit, and I'm glad that this book kind of came across my path. And then I plan on being a little morbid. So I'm going to read The Stand by Stephen King, which is about a disease. And I know it's stupid, but um, I've heard this is his best book, and I loved it, which a lot of people say is high on the list for King. I loved 11/22/63. I really enjoyed Mr. Mercedes. I didn't like The Gunslinger, but I'm getting into King, and I'm really excited about The Stand. Um, if you watched my haul video on this one, I'd never seen this cover, and so I bought it from Thrift Books. This is just ominous, like a really ominous looking cover. So I like it. And then this book, I really want to get to. I want to read a great sci-fi. The cover is misleading. It's not Blade Runner. It's Do Androids Dream of Electric Sheep. I found this for $3 at Dollar General. Dollar General just had it on like a miscellaneous rack in the birthday section. It was weird. I looked it up. It is Do Androids Dream of Electric Sheep. It's there, but they put Blade Runner on the front. It's by Philip K. Dick. It's got all the other Philip K. Dick's books in here. Like, look, Blade Runner, but it's actually Do Androids Dream of Electric Sheep. The inspiration for the film's Blade Runner. And so the cover sucks, but I'm really excited for this. Like, I've wanted to read Do Androids Dream of Electric Sleep for a long time. And finally, I plan to finish Instant Flandry. This is a sci-fi about a young man who goes to another planet and fights. It's book one in a saga of the Dominic Flandry, agent of Imperial Terra. He's got space creatures. He's got a rifle. Poul Anderson is supposedly a great, great author. And this is the first intro for me trying to get into his work. And I kept picking it up, putting it down, picking it up, putting it down, picking it up, putting it down. So I'm going to really make an effort to read this month. I really want to get into it, really want to finish it. It's not long. It's like 250 pages. So I should be able to do this. Finally, maybe, sort of. I don't know. And that's all I've got. Hopefully I actually stick to my plan. I'm going to read one of the short stories by William Faulkner. Me and the guys from Codex Cantina have been talking about it. They're doing Absalom. I'm not ready for that yet. I can't remember exactly which one it is. I will post it in the description or the pinned comment on which Faulkner short story I'm going to read. I have it somewhere. I screenshot what they had. They're doing like a neat thing where they're going to give like a make-believe certificate on William Faulkner at the end of the thing that they do. And so that's something I want to do as well. Short stories are easy. Deanie's got a couple short stories she's going to do that I'll probably, whenever she posts her video, usually I just pop over, I read the short story, and then I comment on her video. So I'll probably just read a couple short stories that way. But I'm not really going to count those because you can read those in 20, 30 minutes. And if any of that sounds great to you guys, I hope that you subscribe to the channel. I know I'm not the biggest growing channel in the world. I do a lot more book reviews than most people. But I'm really excited to have people join me on this journey. I think I present something to BookTube that not everybody else presents. And I'm excited to be a different face and do some different things for you guys. Sometimes I'm goofy, sometimes I'm silly, sometimes I'm serious. And if you want to join that journey, please subscribe. It would make me feel amazing. And I'd love to talk to you guys in the comments. I also have a Goodreads where I do book reviews over there. Kind of really just ties everything back into YouTube as well. So you don't have to do that. And then I interact on Twitter as much as I can. I'm not huge on social media, but I'm making an effort. So you guys have a wonderful night. I'll talk to you later. Bye.